Let's have a chat about how you can clear and decongest your pores. So first we need to decide or talk about symptoms of congestion of your pores. And I think a lot of it is when you look in the mirror, you might see a little bit of shine. You might actually feel a bit of textural change on the skin. So it could be a little bit of bumps, it could be a little bit of dryness. We look close into the mirror, look a bit close. We might see that the pores look a little bit larger. They might even be like kind of wide and flattened out a bit. And they might look like they have a little bit of fill in them. So we might see a bit of a darkness of color inside. We might see a little bit more of a yellowy white coloration inside the pore. So what we're looking at is environmental stressors. All of these things are contributing to whatever lands on our face, and it actually could be the natural mechanisms in our skin, like oil, that are just moving a little bit more, creating that congested look to the skin. So who is this? Like, what skin type do we tend to see congestion that we need to decongest? Well, funny enough, everybody. Everybody has some sort of congestion in their pores. So when you're looking at the skin, all of us will have, some of us have a little bit more, and some of us might have a little bit less. But I think we can all agree we're all pro on getting our pores minimized and clear. So those of you who I'm talking to right now that might be a little bit more on the oilier side or in that combination tend to be more prone. And this is because of the natural oil activity in the skin, tends to be a little bit more of a sticky tackiness to the skin and will just attract a little bit more. So that is totally normal. And the good news is that there are things that you can do at home, or when it gets to a certain point, probably a good idea to reach out to your favorite esthetician or professional and book a service to really get a deep pore cleansing, to really take a better look at the skin, and also to get you on track if there has to be a little bit more, especially if those are you beyond that oilier in combination and you tend to lean a little bit more in the blemishes. So that would be a really great approach, because some of the don'ts we want to see happen at home is those pore strips that we see. And what we're seeing as a professional is that it can actually cause a little bit of friction and some damage or like a roughness to the skin itself, because it's like an adhesive. So we think about sticking an adhesive on the skin and then waiting and then kind of taking it off. There is risk, so you might end up with more irritation, and due to that you might see it starts to dry out, and then we'll end up with redness. So there is a lot of things to consider. Another is try not to do all that extraction stuff to take out any of the congestion you see in the pores on your own. This is why I really think it's important to go see a professional if you think it's gotten to that stage that you want to get in there and squeeze and push. Again, that can cause more issues for your skin, especially causing it to become a little more fragile, and a little bit more irritation can happen. So that is probably some really important things to remember. Another tool that people tend to want to use at home that can get you past the point is like steaming at home. So the temperature of that water, how hot is that steam on the skin? Probably not a good idea. So a really good workaround is just do a nice warm hot towel that you can lay and just kind of steam the skin just by pressing a nice warm compress on the skin will help soften it up. Now, when would you do something like this? I'm going to tell you in just a moment, but before I do that and tell you my favorite products that you can use at home, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. So how would you go about doing this? Well, number one is you want to cleanse the skin. So let's get the skin ready and make sure it's super clean before we do any other care that is going to work in our favor to help clear up those pores and decongest the skin. Sure, you're ready for me to say it. Cleansing is important. So what type of cleanser would be the most effective? I always go for a mechanical, or known as a physical style of exfoliating cleanser, because the little actions of the physicality or the little mechanical little granules in there are like spheres, and they're round and they work like in a circle. So they really help get inside that pore and really help decongest. So I have got to bring out, I got two cleansers, but I have two cleansing assistants that you can also incorporate if you're not using either one of the cleansers I'm going to share with you today. So the first one is our charcoal exfoliating gel cleanser. Now this has charcoal, which is a fabulous magnet to remove any impurities. It has a granule activity and it's quite cooling. So I do like the effect of this. It has a great sensorial and really makes my skin feel super fresh. But again, this has got more of a mechanical feel to it. We have one that is more not mechanical, but does have exfoliating benefits, is our Mangosteen Daily Resurfacing Cleanser. This one with a little bit of water, again, using that circular movement and then rinse it off. And I told you I had a couple of partners that you can align with your cleansing routine. And to be honest, you could use it as a separate application, separate treatment. You can do a couple times a week if you wish. One, a huge fan favorite and one of our top sellers is our Strawberry Rhubarb Dermafoliant. Here we have a little bit of chickpea and some rice powder, and it has a granule and powdered exfoliating property to it. You would just take a couple shakes literally into your favorite cleanser. So I showed you those two cleansers, the charcoal and the mangosteen. You can definitely uptick it and add this into either one of those cleansers, or maybe you're using one of our cream-based cleansers, or you want to just use no cleanser, you can just use a little bit of water. I don't know about you, but sometimes I sneaky use my birch water essence as my water, and I add it. That's a little extra, a little bit when I'm feeling a bit, fancy. I'll go that way and adds a little bit of hydration. Just a fun tip for all of you. So we have our Strawberry Rhubarb Dermafoliant. All skin types, no problem. But if you are that combo oily, I really highly recommend going with the Stone Crop Oxygenating Fizzofoliant. That is a mouthful. The Fizzofoliant, why? Is because we have natural in this formulation. What's going to react with water is going to give kind of a foaming or a fizzing effect to the skin, which helps soften, right, the congestion that is in the pores. So it really helps soften it up. So that's why I really think this is a great option for those of you who are more oily or combination. And with this one in particular, you can just target that area, even if you're all skin types, perfectly fine. I recommend using care like this maybe a couple times a week. If you really are deeply congested, you can uptake it for about every day of the week for maybe a couple of weeks and then slow the roll and then go back to a couple times a week. So keeping in mind, excellent tools for you to begin a routine. What would you do afterwards is you could uptick also a weekly extra exfoliation treatment by using, I pulled up my my trusty partner here, my Turmeric Energizing treatment. I love this one a lot because it has a bit of a granule physical in it, so it gives me a bit of a scrub, but the turmeric incorporation has a little bit of a warming sensation in here. It just elevates the experience onto the skin and really gives a glowing and refined and tightened, and your pores are like super tightened right up after you use a product like this. So something to consider. A couple times a week is perfectly fine. Even one time a week is great. So after you've kind of got the skin all ready and you've done your exfoliation, now that everything is ready for business. What does that mean? Whatever I do next is really going to pack a punch. So we have our charcoal and black seed clay mask from our charcoal and black seed collection. This is a mask that's super light in texture, very silky, easily apply it through the whole face, let it sit in. It's really going to work that extra mile, especially when it comes to decongesting your skin. If it's just your T-zone, talking about my combination skin types here, just apply it in the T-zone. This is also a great tip if you do tend to have a bit of congestion, maybe on our backs, sometimes in the chest or in the neck area. You can also use this mask there as well. 10 minutes, rinse, easy peasy. Then we have your finishing things. So what could you do every day? Leave it on the skin before you begin your day or when you're finishing your day is we have, again, our Mangosteen Daily Resurfacing Concentrate. This is our no primer, selfie ready, makes the skin feel super smooth, pores are refined, great energy, a lot of moisturizing. It is just, I don't know, it's like one of those magic products. You just totally have to have it in your routine. If you are definitely dealing with congestion and larger pores, best friend, hands down. So this would be like a serum, apply it before your moisturizer, or as your moisturizer, depending on how oily your skin is. So that's what I like to share. We have another option for you, which is a moisturizer. So if you want to upscale, we have our Clear Skin Probiotic Moisturizer. I know it's a huge, a lot of you out there are loving it and using it. Continue, still a great item to be including in your home care routine if you are dealing with the congestion of your pores. And believe it or not, there's even a facial oil for all of you who are dealing with congested pores. Is our charcoal and black seed clarifying oil. Just a few drops pressed into the skin, or even little circular motions to get it onto the skin work perfectly fine. It is something you can easily incorporate into your routine as a final product, especially in the daytime, and then apply an SPF over the top. You can also incorporate it prior to the Mangosteen concentrate or the Clear Skin Probiotic Moisturizer. So you definitely can incorporate this. Even if you want to do a little gua sha, this will give you a little bit of glide to do that. So just a little extra tip for you there. And if you want to learn a little bit more of the difference between a sebaceous filament and a blackhead, head over here and check out this video.